and welcome to France 24's weekly music show. I'm Marjorie Hash, and my guest this week emerged in the early 90s with the Charlatans, who were known for their psychedelic, baggy Manchester sound, and with whom he's gone on to make 13 albums. Now, over the years, he's also provided vocals for the likes of Saint-Etienne, the Chemical Brothers, and worked with many, many more. He's curated stages for music festivals, written a book, started his own label, and at some points in his careers, even indulged in the excesses of rock and roll lifestyle. He's just released his 5th studio album. Tim Burgess, thank you for joining us from your home in Norfolk. I believe that's also where you recorded your new album, I Love the New Sky.
That's correct, yes.
And what impact did that environment have on your songwriting?
I think it's just like a settled kind of environment, really, which meant that, you know, all the music could be flying around as long as I was kind of settled.
Mm-hmm. Well, your new album is super uplifting, and it's a kind of positive soundtrack for these complicated times. It's also very biographical, or autobiographical in many ways, because, you know, you evoke breakups, grief, writer's block, and you've even got a song called Timothy. Was that your way of looking back at your own life?
I think so, yeah, in many ways. I mean, you know, the whole album, you know, the writing cycle for the album was about a year. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of cram everything in, you know, everything that I can remember, you know, that was important about my life. And so I think it was a good album to do that on. And, you know, of course, you know, releasing it during these very kind of, you know, uncertain times, you know, I think it's kind of a good time for this record to come out in a way.
You've said about your life that it used to be sky high and now it's real and natural. What's made it more real?
Well, meditation is one thing. Not indulging as much as I used to when I was younger. Although I think, you know, it's not an unfamiliar story. Mm-hmm. Of you know, a 22-year-old getting involved in the music business 30 years, you know, there's bound to be some ups and downs and some, you know, some trails that are left behind and things like that. You know, but it's kind of, you know, I'm on the straight edge these days, and it's you know, more meditation than recreation.
Well, how about we check out one of the tracks from your new record? It's Laurie.
Laurie, it doesn't matter where you're going, baby. All that is important is that you've been dreaming lately. You can't just call me if you need time to recover. There's a meadow and there's a mountain. We could talk forever. See the skies, big and wide. Close my eyes, shoot them tight. In the sand, hold my hands. We are living, taking the sun, wanting it all.
One of the tracks you can find on Tim Burgess's new record, which is a perfect record if you're feeling a bit low. It's lifted me in the last few weeks, I just have to admit that. I also noticed you had a French title in one of your tracks. It's Comme d'habitude, which is, let me hasten to add, not the Claude François that became the famous classic My Way, Comme d'habitude. It's a different... How did you come about getting a French title in your album?
Well, I like the phrase Comme d'habitude and what it means, and I just felt that, you know, it was a kind of nice way of saying, you know, as per usual or as usual, which doesn't sound as exciting if you say it in English. So I came across the title and somehow worked it into a song, really. So the title came first, and I just wanted it to be, you know, about an interesting kind of story about, you know, about a couple of people that I know.
It's a homage to Friends, maybe. Something that's a bit of a habitude now is parties that you've been organising on Twitter listening parties, and these have really taken off in these COVID-related confinement times, and they've been so successful that you've actually been dubbed a lockdown legend because of them. Can you describe what these parties are like to our viewers who may not be aware of them yet, and how you came up with the idea as well?
Okay, well, they're exhausting and emotional. And at the beginning of the lockdown, I was going to do a party at 10 p.m. UK time every night. Now that is 8, 9 and 10 every night. And the weekends I was going to take it off, but there's normally 5 at the weekend. So it went from, just doing... The idea came a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, and I started doing listening parties for the Charlatans, anniversaries of Charlatans albums, and a couple of my solo ones. But at the beginning of the lockdown, I announced that I was going to do a Some Friendly listening party, our debut album. And Alex Kapranos from Franz Ferdinand said that he loved that album. So then I said, okay, well, why don't you do one? And Dave Rowntree from Blur followed quite quickly, and Bonehead did Definitely Maybe by Oasis. So within 4 days, I had a thing, and then it just escalated really.
What's particularly amazing is that if you look at the Twitter feeds, you see artists and fans, and they join in conversations. They share stories of what those albums meant to them, or like niche stories of the making of. So it's really great if you're a music fan. It's total joy to read.
I think we all listen to an album together. It's very powerful, and also, the main players from who were involved in making that album, or those albums, tweet anecdotes.
Mm-hmm. I hear you're also going to be organising a mini music festival in that vein. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I've already done one for Broken Record. There's a Moshi Moshi one. We've done a few. I mean, there's a website, Tim's TwitterListeningParties.com, and it has up and coming and previous ones that we've already done. So there's lots of information there. But
I was wondering how much, because obviously it's very strange having to conduct interviews over Skype nowadays, but how much are you missing actually touring this new record?
Well, I was supposed to be on tour, as lots of people were. I think it's logically the next step after releasing your record to go out and see people and meet new friends and reconnect with old ones. So it's kind of a very unusual situation to be in now. But I mean, you kind of take what you can, and doing interviews by Zoom or FaceTime or Skype, it's certainly made life a little bit easier in lots of ways. So.
Possibly. Well, it might not be as good as touring or playing in a live venue, but how about you give us a little tune just in a few minutes, just after we take a look at the music news, and we're going to kick off with some pop. Lady Gaga's new record, Chromatica, has officially landed, and if you liked the first single, Stupid Love, or her first 2 albums, you won't be disappointed. It's full of high-energy tunes, which show off the star's wide vocal range. Mental health and healing are also 2 of the main themes running through this 6th record, which features collaborations with the likes of Ariana Grande, Blackpink and Elton John. Here she is with Ariana and the new single, Rain on Me. Over to award-winning hip-hop supergroup Run the Jewel, who are back this week with the 4th offering, subtly entitled RTJ4. The record was primarily recorded by legendary producer Rick Rubin and features the likes of Pharrell Williams, Josh Homme, Zach De La Rocca and Mavis Staples. Now, if those names don't make you want to give the record at least one listen, I don't know what will. Let's check out their track Ooh La La, featuring Greg Price and DJ Premier.
like I lost a friend. Jump out of my bed like where the bread. You go hold the egg. Way to bring the check. When we talk, we Kalishnikov. Keep us in your thoughts, fully dressed at the crack of dawn. Weapons letting off. I can hear them from the block. See them creeping through the fog. Season's greetings, graffiti season can start. Oh my God, look alive. Looking like I live life on a crooked line. Doing fine. You want maximum stupid, I am the guy.
First of all, fuck the fucking law. We is fucking raw. Stay tall. Oysters on the half shell. Sushi bar. Life a bitch and the pussy fish. Still fuck the raw. I'm a dog. I'm a dirty dog. Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha ha, is the video a suggestion of what should happen when this pandemic is over? You can send me your answers on a postcard, please, or via the Encore Twitter, Instagram or Facebook pages, where you can also follow our latest culture stories. Now, the latest news headlines are coming up in just a few minutes on France 24, but in the meantime, yes, it's an absolute pleasure to be joined again by Tim Burgess, and you're going to play us out on the show with one of the tracks from the new album. Can you tell us which one and what it's about?
Oh, well, it's about everything, and everything and nothing, but it's called Empathy for the Devil. Angels take flight, good goes with them tonight. Get deep behind me, dark light it finds me. Woo! Resist the temptation, you took me to the mountain, but I stood my ground as thunder came my calling. Empathy for the devil. Excuse me, is that jealousy? What you wanna meddle? Empathy for the devil. Empathy. Matinee feature, gothic creature. Let's not turn this into a fight. I have the capacity, there's nowhere I would rather be. Not there yet, but it's us and the world tonight.
At France 24, our goal is to follow the news around the world as it develops and keep you informed at all times.
The coronavirus pandemic is hitting us all hard, not just in France, but everywhere. We at France 24 are determined to provide you with reliable and verified information as the world confronts the biggest health crisis for a century.
Wherever we are, however best we can, we're trying our utmost to keep on bringing you the very latest news.
France 24 is on the ground, reporting from the field in English, French, Arabic and Spanish. Keep watching and reading on France24.com.
France 24, our mission is to inform you.
Liberté, égalité, actualité.